For over 70 years, Houston, Texas reigned as one of the premier pro wrestling cities in the United States, a model of longevity and consistency. It attracted generations of loyal and rabid fans to weekly Friday night matches, first at the City Auditorium, then the Sam Houston Coliseum for 7 decades, and provided a starting point or launching pad for some of the biggest box office attractions in the sport. From Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, to Gorgeous George, to Vern Gagne, to Antonino Rocca, to the Big Cat Ernie Ladd, and the Chief, Wahoo McDaniel. Its television show, Houston Wrestling, was rivaled for longevity only by the wrestling telecasts in Memphis, Tennessee, and Portland, Oregon, airing weekly for an uninterrupted and incredible 39 years. The Houston wrestling tradition stretched from 2 years before the United States entrance into World War I to 2 years before the fall of the Berlin Wall. This amazing run was accomplished under the auspices of just 2 promoters, Morris Siegel and Paul Bosch. Siegel served as promoter from 1915 to 1967, 52 years. But it was under Bosch that Houston Wrestling achieved its greatest success. Serving as television host for 20 years and promoter for 20 more, Paul Bosch became synonymous with pro wrestling for millions of Houstonians. A wrestler, war hero, and author, Bosch's reputation for honesty and integrity to both fans and wrestlers alike was rivaled only by the legendary Sam Muchnick of St. Louis. A handshake with Bosch was more binding than any contract ever written. Wrestlers repaid him with their loyalty and fans with their support, making Houston, Texas a mecca for wrestling action for almost half a century. Houston wrestling lasted 6 years longer than the time from the Wright brothers' first flight to mankind's first footsteps on the moon. It featured the best wrestlers in the world battling it out before the world's most loyal fans. And this is its story. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the award-winning series from Kayfabe Commentaries Back to the Territories. I'm Jim Cornette, and on this edition, as we always do, we're going to travel back in time to one of the classic wrestling territories and discover just exactly what made it so special. In this case, however, not a territory, but a single city, a very important city to wrestling history. And joining me to converse about this, a young man who is uniquely qualified to discuss Houston, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, Houston's own Bruce Pritchard. Hello, young fella.
Hello there.
You're the youngest guest I've had
I like
so
that.
far, I think.
I like that, you know, because every single locker room that I've visited lately, I'm the oldest fart there.
Yeah, but in this case, on this series, I think you're actually the youngest person that's done this, you know, because the average age of my normal guest is dead. But
Works.
Houston, Texas was a place that was near and dear to your heart, but you weren't born in Houston. You were born in Texas. But
I was born in El Paso, and then we moved to Houston when I was 5 years old, and that's when my world kind of opened up, and I was introduced to Houston wrestling. In El Paso, we had the Amarillo territory, and Eddie Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero, their dad, Gory Guerrero, was a promoter in El Paso. So when we moved to Houston, we were introduced to Paul Bosch, the Sam Houston Coliseum, and wrestling every Friday night.